afternoon, friends. Meet you on the other side once again. In the last video, we handled topics of research. So the natural progression is to land onto the introduction chapter. In the chapterization, we have seen that how the progression goes from title page to abstract to introduction. In the introduction chapter, there are many subtopics, but we'll handle the most important ones. And as per your syllabus, that is need, rationale, significance of the study, and the scope of the study. These are simple to understand, but it's important that we look at them in a systematic way to understand why these are important, why they are in the first introduction chapter, and why we pay so much attention to these issues even before we embark on our research journey. So, having said that, let's move a little bit ahead into this introduction to introduction. Is how to understand these four subtopics. Imagine a girl brings her boyfriend to a home to introduce to her father. Father is major in the navy with big mooch and a pipe in his mouth. Mother is frail and dainty. So she says, "Dad, I'm going to marry him." And father is very surprised, gets a little bit red in his face. Mother starts sweating. And he says, "What's the need?" So the daughter says, "Dad, I finished my graduation, I've got a stable job, and I'm in love with him." So she expressed her need. But the dad says, "So what? But why? Why do you want to get married to this monkey? He's a major from the army. He doesn't care. For them, everyone is a monkey." So she says, "Dad, he's a CEO of a big pharma company. Plus, he loves me also." So that is her rationale. In her mind, she is thinking, "मेरी जिंदगी तो बन गई. How to explain to dad in front of him?" So now she has explained the rationale of why she wants to get married to this guy. So he says, "Yeah, you're so pretty, beautiful, young. You can get many such years. Why this monkey?" So she walks up to her dad and whispers something in his ears. She says, "You call him a monkey, so I'm sure no pretty girl will choose him. So my problem is solved, Dad. What's your problem?" Dad's eyes sparkle and he says, "Oh, smart girl, smart girl." Then he puts his two fingers, on his mooch, and he says, "Good, good, good." So she goes and sits with that guy, and he's happy to hold her hand. And then Dad asks that, "But ये कैसे जमेगा? We are a simple middle class family. He's from a rich CEO pharma background. How can we manage?" He says, "No problem, Dad. We'll have a court marriage and a small reception for our immediate family members at island in Italy." So the father says, "But why? Why go so far? We can have it in Goa." He says, "Pa, we think alike. It is a resort, island Italia in Goa. So, now he has explained the scope of within what limits the wedding will happen. So, this small funny example will give you an understanding that what a need is, what a rationale is, what is significance, and what scope is. So that we can end our lecture now. Thank you very much. Goodbye. We go to our main. So now, having enjoyed these 2 minutes, we'll formally go and see in this introduction chapter. We will see the need, rationale, significance, and scope of research. But before we actually enter into that domain, let me show you the chapterization screen which we had dealt in the last lecture. Here you will see that immediately after title page and abstract there is introduction. This is where we will be discussing, this is where we will be standing during our discussion today. But in the introduction chapter we went also a little bit deeper to see what are the subtopics. So here in the introduction chapter, you will see there is background of the study, need and rationale of the study, statement of the problem, objectives, research questions, hypothesis, significance of the study, scope and limitations, definition of key terms. Out of these, the research questions, limitations, hypothesis, objectives, and so on, we will do a little bit later. But here in the introduction chapter, we will do need, scope, significance, and rationale. So, having given this brief overview as to where we are standing while while understanding these subtopics, let's move ahead. There are four subtopics that we spoke of: are need, rationale, significance, scope. Now we will handle the first one, need of the study, and see academically what they tell us about it, not what the girl had to say to the major. Immediate personal need and drive to do the study. We spoke about it many times about the maid whose husband is getting beaten, or the students of your class who are not doing well in maths. Establishes the rationale and relevance of research, explaining why the work is important and should be conducted. Once again, in this rationale, you have to give a logical reason. In that funny example, the girl says, I love him. But the dad, for the dad, this is not enough. He wants the rationale, the logic behind it. So it establishes the relevance why you want to conduct the research. Provides context, justification, and clear understanding of the research's purpose and potential impact. So every research is supposed to have a social impact. So this chapter or this subtopic in this chapter should explain all that. Now we go to rationale of the study, and we'll handle key components. Like in need, you can write a lot about what you feel, but in rationale, you have to be logically perfect as to what and why and when and how, following some logic. So you have to give background information, you have to give identification of the gaps, you have to give justification for the study, and novelty and significance. So in this subunit, you have to handle all the information that you give under these headings, so that it's very clear and logical and systematic as to why you want to do the study. Background information, I think I think it doesn't need a lot of explanation. Summarizing the current state of knowledge of the research topic, including relevant theories, previous studies, and findings. Although this part is in the introduction chapter, but it will be, some of it will be written after you do literature review. Identification of the gaps, again after you do literature review, you'll really understand the gaps that you have identified. justification for the study. You have to justify why you feel that there is a need for you to study, what, how it will help you, how it will help the organization, how it will help the victim, how it will help the people in your the learners in your class, so on and so forth. Novelty and significance means what is so special about your research. You have to explain over there. Suppose you are doing a research on how digital apps can help students learning better in your school. So, and maybe such apps are not being used in schools like yours. So then it becomes a novelty factor. So you will try to explain that if the results are good, then this could be a good learning and teaching aid for the schools of your level, and so on. Now we go to the significance of the study, where the dad asks her, "You can get other good-looking monkeys. Why this one?" So here you have to explain. Especially, we have explained a little bit why it is important and so on. But in this chapter, in this subunit, significance of the study, you have to very clearly explain how it's going to benefit everyone, whomever you want it to benefit. So describes how the study will benefit academia, society, specific stakeholders. It answers the question why. Why does the research matter? How it provides new insights, validates existing theories, and offers practical solution to problem. I think most of this we have touched in almost every topic we have touched so far. So I hope it it comes back to you all when I am just reading this part. Demonstrates the value and relevance of the research. Again, why it is important. She said he is the CEO, so my life is made. So you have to say, tell in this section why your study is important, how it will benefit the society. Again, here there are few key components you have to keep in mind, so that this subunit, whatever write, is sort of structured. No need to write these subheadings, but you have to just remember at the back of your mind. It is in what way your study will be advancing knowledge. So is it significant way? Then what are the practical application by this study? Are you really solving some problems? Is it so significant? Then professional and personal growth, how it will help your professional growth, personal growth, and so on. So you see, these are the pointers which really tell why it is so important that you conduct this study. This is important because it is important for the reader who reads the research afterwards. It's also important for the sponsor who is going to, maybe sponsor the expenses of the research, or your organization who is going to allow you time to go and do the research, so on and so forth. Or important for you also, because you are going to put your time over there. So you also have to convince yourself, why is this study significant, or are you just doing some time pass? Filling knowledge gaps, testing, refining theories. Repeat once again. Everything is repeated. You have to just package it in a different way. Solving real world problems, informing policy decisions, improving practices, developing new technology. So you have to say how you are going to solve the world's problem through your small research. Personal and professional growth, career advancement. How it will, suppose through your research you are coming up with a new theory, then definitely some big organization which is trying to put a lot of effort in these kind of educational development can pick you up to be the research head of this division. I'm just thinking out loud. So now, having gone through the need, the rationale, the significance. Now, like the dad, ठीक है, you want to get married, I'm okay, I understood why why it is significant for you, but उसमें खर्चा कितना आएगा? What all I will have to do? You see, in the end, that matters, because otherwise everything will go haywire, and it will not be a very good experience, whether it was a wedding or whether it's a research. So we have to make sure that what is the scope of this activity, what are the physical limitations of operation. So the scope defines the boundaries of the research, what the study will cover, what it will not cover. Scope prevents research from becoming too broad and unfocused. So you see, when he says we will have a small family wedding in Ireland, Italia, he was trying to draw that scope. It clarifies the subject area, the target population, the time frame, the specific variables examined. We have already discussed a little bit of variable. Variables are those things that can be measured and which you want to study as a way of comparison or as knowing more about that issue. Scope prevents the research from being too broad and unfocused. We said that in the first point also is the same. Scope in a way makes things manageable. Let's put it like that. So now we have come to the wedding decision part, and now it's time to put things in action. So we have finished the few important subunits that are there in the introduction chapter, and from here on, next time we meet, we will handle some other subunits from maybe literature review, that is the second chapter, or we will do some subunits in methodologies. Maybe we'll do the whole methodology. So we are entering into the Alibaba's cave where a lot of treasures are there. It's a happy moment as well as very difficult, because now these topics that we are going to approach are a little bit more complicated, and we'll need a little bit more uh, a little bit more concerted effort to understand them. So, having said that, I would like to say goodbye and thank you, and meet you on the other side. Bye, guys. Thank you.